While it's no exaggeration to claim that life would have been significantly more daunting if dinosaurs were still around today, what if I were to reveal that Earth once hosted creatures that outdid them in size, ferocity, and sheer dreadfulness? From gargantuan serpents to abyssal monsters and nightmarish oddities, prepare to meet animals even more spine-chilling than dinosaurs. Some of the most terrifying beings ever to inhabit our planet were aquatic denizens, and Dunkleosteus was no exception. This formidable fish ruled during the late Devonian period, approximately 370 to 360 million years ago, which we call the Age of Fish. FYI, that's eons before dinosaurs trod the Earth in the Mesozoic era, spanning 245 to 66 million years ago, comprising the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. Dunkleosteus, measuring between 26 to 32 feet long, boasted a sleek, shark-like appearance, complete with an armored head. Despite its fearsome look, Dunkleosteus lacked traditional teeth, opting for two elongated bony blades instead. But don't let that deceive you. These fish weren't picky eaters. They devoured fish, sharks, and even their own kin. Their fearsome fangs grew ceaselessly and constantly rubbed against each other, functioning as self-sharpening shears. To grasp their jaws' might, ponder this. Scientists estimated they could generate up to 8,000 pounds of bite force per square inch. For context, a lion's bite produces roughly 650 pounds per square inch. However, Dunkleosteus' Achilles' heel was their insatiable greed, often leading to indigestion. Fossils frequently unearthed beside regurgitated, half-digested prey confirmed this gluttony. You might be relieved Dunkleosteus no longer roams. Now, brace yourself for more spine-tingling monstrosities. You've likely noticed that many prehistoric animals were essentially oversized versions of present-day creatures. Allow me to introduce you to one of the most unsettling examples, Phoberamys pattersoni. These real-life ratzillas claim the title of the largest rodents to ever roam our planet, reaching lengths of approximately 10 feet, with an additional 5 feet of tail. Remains of these grotesque rodents have been unearthed across sites in Argentina, Brazil, and Venezuela. Although their closest living relatives are humble guinea pigs, they shared a more striking resemblance to modern capybaras, albeit significantly larger and heavier. Examinations of their skeletons suggest an estimated weight of about 800 kilograms, equivalent to an American bison. Phoberamys pattersoni featured massive hind limbs in contrast to their slender forelimbs, implying a habit of resting on their haunches while foraging. Their smaller forelimbs were adept at gathering plant matter. Much like capybaras, Phoberamys possessed a deep-set jaw and sharp front teeth ideal for a gritty herbivorous diet. Although they primarily consumed plants, their foot-long incisors could inflict significant harm if provoked. These tremendous rodents roamed wetlands and nearshore swamps until mysteriously vanishing around 8 million years ago. So, next time you spot a rat on the street, remember, it could be much worse. Deciphering an animal's appearance is often challenging for paleontologists, especially when it vanished 400 million years ago. However, hallucigenia posed an even greater puzzle. In fact, scientists spent over half a century attempting to discern its anatomy before pinpointing its head. One glance at this utterly bizarre creature and you'll understand the challenge. British paleontologist Simon Conway Morris stumbled upon a bizarre 0.5-inch long fossil in 1977. This fossil had been discovered 66 years earlier in the Burgess Shale in the Canadian Rockies and was initially categorized as an annelid worm, like leeches or earthworms. Morris disagreed, asserting that the strange organism could walk on stilts, adorned with numerous tentacles. Thus, he coined the name, hallucigenia, as it resembled something from a surreal hallucination. However, in 1991, researchers Lars Ramskjöld and Hu Xian-Guang flipped Morris's interpretation upside down, literally. They determined that the tentacles Morris identified were the creature's legs, thus inverting the model. The spines that Morris originally placed on top likely served as a form of defense. It wasn't until 2015 that further research, using an electron microscope and samples from the Burgess Shale, revealed Hallucigenia's head, complete with eyes and a grinning array of teeth. Although the exact diet of Hallucigenia remains a mystery, its ring of teeth around its mouth probably aided in siphoning water and food into its gut. Despite its diminutive size, this floppy hallucination is undeniably unsettling. How do you turn an ordinary elephant into a nightmare-inducing creature? You replace its trunk with an enormous, fleshy spork. Meet the Platybelodon, a fantastical creature that might seem conjured by an imaginative 7-year-old. But travel back 8 to 20 million years, and you'll witness that the Platybelodon was a bona fide inhabitant of our planet. This precursor to modern elephants sported a peculiar, jutting jaw comprised of a secondary pair of expanded tusks. Those tusks are essentially modified incisors. But what purpose did this bizarre adaptation serve? Animals don't invest energy in developing frivolous traits. In the 1920s, when the Platybelodon was first described, it was assumed their lower incisors served to shovel, scoop, dig, and dredge soft vegetation in aquatic or swampy areas. However, in 1992, paleontologist David Lambert proposed an alternative hypothesis, that these tusks functioned as scythe-like weapons, capable of slicing through dense foliage. Rather than dwelling along shorelines, Platybelodon roamed Miocene Asia, Africa, and North America, foraging on terrestrial plants, gripping branches with their trunks, and cutting them with their built-in scythes. As these fleshy, spork-shaped appendages rarely fossilize, our knowledge about these bizarre creatures is quite limited. Thankfully, they facilitated their own discovery by perishing en masse, often near rivers, prime spots for fossilization. While they may not have posed a significant threat to humans if they existed today, their countenance remains among the most peculiar in history. If facing Dunkleosteus in the water sounded terrifying, wait until you hear about Helicoprion. This ghastly fish, measuring 20 to 25 feet long, haunted our world 270 million years ago, during the Triassic period. Its discovery became one of paleontology's most baffling mysteries. The saga began with the finding of enigmatic petrified coils, resembling fossilized fruit roll-ups. Russian geologist Alexander Petrovich Karpinsky dubbed them Helicoprion in 1899, suspecting these peculiar fossils belonged to a shark-like fish. His theory posited these strange structures attached to the creature's snout, akin to a permanently rolled-up party horn. Yet, Helicoprion's true configuration confounded researchers for over a century. Puzzling speculation led to bizarre visions of sharks adorned with toothy spirals on snouts, lower jaws, dorsal fins, caudal fins, and even deep in their throats. It wasn't until 2013, led by Leif Tapanila from Idaho State University, that a study correctly identified the coiled tooth row, occupying the lower jaw in a buzzsaw-like arrangement. As the fish matured, new teeth continuously sprouted at the rear of the lower jaw, while their upper teeth were nearly absent. So, how did Helicoprion capture and devour prey? Paleontologists hypothesized that, as the jaw closed, the toothy whorl rotated backward in a saw-like motion. If that's not disconcerting enough, the largest known Helicoprion specimen sported a 2-foot-wide jaw. Fortunately, this nightmarish buzzsaw predator vanished from the scene some 225 million years ago. Thank goodness it's a thing of the past. The fact that scientists nicknamed them terror birds should suffice as an introduction to these petrifying creatures. But let's delve into the ghastly details. Following the extinction of formidable dinosaurs like the T-Rex and Velociraptor, terror birds ascended to rule as the apex land predators in South America for the next 60 million years. These prehistoric avian beasts reached heights of up to 10 feet, boasting T-Rex-like feet and a hooked beak capable of severing a horse's spinal cord with a single strike. Their reign commenced before the existence of modern Central America, when South America still stood as an island. While saber-toothed cats and wolves claimed top predator positions elsewhere, South America harbored mostly herbivorous mammals, providing the terror birds with a buffet of plant-eating prey. These swift hunters wielded a pickaxe-like beak, smashing smaller animals' skulls with downward blows. But that wasn't all. Their bony heads doubled as massive meat tenderizers, and they likely used their enormous, clawed feet to pummel their quarry. Over their 60-million-year dominion, 17 terror bird species emerged and vanished, leaving the scene approximately 2.5 million years ago. It might make you appreciate city pigeons a tad more. 3 words. Giant, sea, scorpion. You likely never thought you'd hear those terms in reference to a real-life animal. But here we are. Meet the Eurypterid group known as sea scorpions, whose arthropod lineage mostly comprised small creatures about the size of a human hand. However, Jaekelopterus stands out as an exception, inhabiting our planet 460 million years ago during the Silurian period. This spiky sea scorpion reached up to 8 feet in length, easily earning the title of the largest arthropod ever recorded. To envision its appearance, picture the ghastly face huggers from the Alien franchise, but scaled up dramatically with the capacity to swim. Jaekelopterus possessed a segmented, paddle-shaped body reminiscent of modern horseshoe crabs, only colossal. Swift underwater movement was facilitated by its oar-like rear legs, allowing rapid pursuit of prey. In addition to numerous specialized limbs, this marine monstrosity boasted enormous spring-loaded claws for snatching fish that swam too close. One fossilized claw fragment unearthed in 2007 measured a whopping 18 inches across. Undeniably, had this giant sea scorpion existed today, it could have used these colossal claws to ensnare and crush its victims, shattering skulls like almonds. The reign of Eurypterids, including the menacing Jaekelopterus, terminated abruptly during the Permian extinction, approximately 299 to 252 million years ago, when over 96% of marine life perished. It's hard to imagine anything with the name Andrew being more terrifying than a dinosaur, but this fearsome beast begs to differ. While no complete Andrewsarchus skeleton has been recovered, a skull fragment discovered in Mongolia in 1923 measured nearly 3 feet in length. Expedition leader Roy Chapman Andrews deemed this creature a carnivore due to its massive teeth, subsequently naming it Andrewsarchus mongoliensis, in a rather self-centric manner. These creatures roamed East Asia around 45 to 36 million years ago during the Eocene era. Paleontologists pieced together the rest of Andrewsarchus' physique by drawing parallels to another bear-like prehistoric creature called Mesonyx. The resulting image portrays a nightmarish vision of a 16-foot-long, 6-foot-tall behemoth. With short legs, a long body, a tail, and hoofed feet, it resembled a wolf, but on a grand scale. Its terrifying snout brimmed with large, bone-crushing teeth, and it might have weighed anywhere between 1,764 to over 2,200 pounds. Astonishingly, Andrewsarchus ranks as the largest known meat-eating land mammal in history. Curiously, despite their wolf-like appearance, these creatures likely shared a closer kinship with hippos and whales, belonging to a larger group called artiodactyls. Because we only have remnants of Andrewsarchus, debate rages on whether it was an active predator or merely an oversized scavenger. One thing's for sure, I wouldn't want to cross paths with it. If you're fearful of snakes, now would be the time to grab a quick snack. 60 million years ago, during the Paleocene epoch, in the swampy waters of what's now Colombia, resided the largest snake to ever exist, the Titanoboa. Stretching to nearly 50 feet in length and weighing an astonishing 2,500 pounds, this colossal serpent dwarfed the modern green anaconda, who rules these territories today. Regrettably, Titanoboa never had the opportunity to cross paths with a T-Rex. Living just a few million years after the demise of the dinosaurs, Titanoboa thrived in an era when everything was larger, wetter, and hotter than our current world. In keeping with this theme of colossal proportions, Titanoboa's size defied the laws of physics. Every organism adapts to gravity's constraints, and only aquatic giants like the 100-foot blue whale can thrive despite their enormous bulk. Scientists speculate that Titanoboa exploited this surplus of oxygen in Earth's past, enabling it to reach such staggering dimensions. The creature was so immense that it likely struggled to move effectively on land and spent most of its life in the water, resembling a waterborne anaconda, despite its physical resemblance to a modern boa constrictor. Imagine dipping into the river only to spot the shed skin of one of these colossal creatures on the nearby bank. Regarding its diet, Titanoboa exhibited little selectivity. This ambush predator relied on its tremendous strength to squeeze the life out of its prey, with victims including giant turtles and even crocodiles. Why and when Titanoboa disappeared remains a mystery, but it's fortunate they no longer roam, as their presence would be a calamity for humanity. Most people experience unease around regular-sized insects. However, during the Carboniferous period, around 359 to 299 million years ago, these eerie creatures could grow to astronomical sizes. Case in point, Anthroplora, an 8.5-foot-long millipede that roamed the Earth. These colossal creatures likely feasted on dead plant material, akin to modern-day millipedes. Fossilized trackways suggest these massive millipedes could move quickly, undulating hundreds of enormous legs with a disconcerting rhythm, deftly dodging trees and obstacles. Anthroplora ranks as the largest terrestrial invertebrate ever, meaning it probably lacked natural predators. Their flexible segmented bodies enabled them to rear into a defensive stance, staring directly into your eyes if they so chose. After the Carboniferous period ended, moist climates began drying up, decimating the rainforests that served as Anthroplora's habitat. Thus, they met their demise. But why don't we have such massive bugs today? The leading theory attributes their size to the higher oxygen levels in Earth's atmosphere during that era. During the time of Anthroplora, atmospheric oxygen levels reached about 30%, nearly 50% higher than current levels. So, the next time someone denies climate change, introduce them to this colossal, nightmarish millipede. And there you have it, folks. From the monstrous jaws of Dunkleosteus to the bizarre and surreal hallucigenia, from the terror-inducing terror birds to the mind-bogglingly massive Titanoboa, we've taken a thrilling journey through the annals of Earth's history to uncover some of the most incredible and terrifying creatures that once roamed our world. Nature's creativity knows no bounds, and these ancient animals remind us just how wild and unpredictable our planet's past truly was. Which one of these prehistoric beasts do you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned for our next adventure through the wonders of our natural world. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.